It's your boy Ken coming back to you with another chapter of That Boy Ken. Want to talk to you guys about something not too controversial, but it may be a sensitive topic to most. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I know for me, I wouldn't say it's a too much of a sensitive topic, but for me, I don't really hear much people talking about it. And when I got approached with this question, I was just like, well, dang, that's a really good question. I should talk about this because, again, me personally, I don't hear too many people in the gay community talking about it. And what I'm talking about is having that relationship with God. I know I have one with them. But to jump right in, let's go. I know for me, I was approached, saying, as a gay man, should you have a relationship with God? And when they asked me that question, I was kind of like, well, why wouldn't I? Because I'm a gay male. That's like asking someone who's married that's having an affair with someone else, do they have a relationship with God? Like I just don't get it. That's asking a murderer, do you have a relationship with God? So because I'm a black male, I shouldn't, not even a black male, but as a gay male, I shouldn't have a relationship with God? I just found that extremely crazy. But needless to say, my answer was yes, I do have a relationship with God. I feel like there wouldn't be me without him. I can't go through my day thinking or thanking God. Like there is at least one part in my day of where I'm thanking him. And it could be anything from, Lord, let this credit card go through in the name of Jesus. And it goes through. Or, Lord, let this meal be right. Thank you, Jesus. Or, God, I know this is you right now because Chipotle done put double chicken on my bowl. But, just to joke around a little bit. But I definitely have a relationship with God. I feel like he has brought me through so many different situations in my life. And to be honest, without him, I don't know where I'll be. I'm going to be flat out honest with y'all. I don't know where I'll be without him. He is a mighty God. But again, back to the story. But yeah, I was approached with the question, and of course, the question was, as a gay male, do I have a relationship with God? Yes, I do have a relationship with God. I don't see why I shouldn't have a relationship. I'm sorry. But I don't see why I should not have a relationship with him because I'm a gay male. Like, I told the person that asked me the question, I said, at the end of the day, I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't know every word in the Bible. I don't live every word in the Bible. But I do know this. God created me in his image of his likeness. So if this is the image that he liked me in, this is me, period, point blank. And again, like I said, I don't know every word in the Bible, but I know in the Bible it does say he loves all of his children, regardless. He died for our sins. Am I wrong? Because if I'm wrong, please let me know. Like, there have been so many things that I felt like he has gotten me through. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like, if y'all knew the half of it, y'all would be like, oh, okay, I see what he means. I'm such a huge family person. I love my family. Point blank period. I love them to death. And I would do anything for my family. I remember my aunt, who, by the way, is a huge Christian woman. Like, she's the type of woman, she'll call me, like, I'll be at work, and she'll call me in the middle of the day. She was like, hey, I was just thinking about you. I just want to make sure everything's all right. I was sitting here praying, and God just put you in my mind. I just want to make sure you're all right. And I'm like, Auntie, I'm good. I'm fine. And I remember my aunt got into a horrible accident. Like, it was so bad, like, they had to literally cut the left side of her car, like the doors. They had to cut the doors off to take her out. So bad. That was a year for me. I think it was around 2011, if I'm not mistaken. That year was a year for me. I had my aunt on one side of the hospital trying to, recover from the accident. Then I had my great grandmother on the other end of the hospital whose kidneys failed, and it was just so much. But as I'm having all of this go on, I'm asking God for strength every step of the way. Every step of the way, I'm like, God, give me strength to get through this. Lord, give me strength to be there for my mom. Lord, give me strength to be strong for my grandmother. Like, I'm asking God for the strength, and you can't tell me that it's God, because He gave me that strength to get through it all. God rest her soul. I did end up losing my great grandmother that year, but my aunt made it out the hospital. She had to have iron rods put all through her. But if you see my aunt now, you can't tell me there isn't a God, because that lady's up and she's walking all through everywhere. So you can't tell me there isn't a God. My relationship with Him, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I go to church every Sunday or I go to Bible study every Wednesday. That's just not the fact of it. I don't. But I do try my best to go to church. But one thing I do is I do every morning when I do get up, I pray. I say the Lord's Prayer every morning. That's how I was raised. My great grandmother, when I was 3-4 years old, kneeled down and I prayed every night and I prayed every morning. That's just how I was raised. Now, I'm not saying you have to be this person to, live by the word. You don't. You don't. That's just how it is. Not all of us do. Hell, I'm not gonna lie, I don't live every word. But what I do is I pray and I thank Him for what I have. I thank Him for the opportunities I have that comes towards me. I thank Him for my family. My mom, my grandmother, I thank God for everyone. But again, with my aunt, she got into the accident. She's of course doing much better now. And during that time, I prayed so hard. Like, it was days I cried and I was just praying. It was just a lot going on. 2011 was a year. 2008 was a year too, but 2011 was a year for me as well. And like I said, my aunt is such a godly Christian woman. I remember I didn't even tell my aunt about me being gay. I didn't. I'll never forget it. She came to me and she was like, it was real weird, but she came to me and she was like, come here, give me a hug. And my aunt, when she hugs me, because she doesn't see me often, she lives in Fort Lauderdale with my grandmother. But every time she sees me, she hugs me and she always holds me for a long time. In this instant, she held me and then she held my head. And I was just like, okay, well, that's a different kind of hug, child. What you doing? But she held me and she was like, let me tell you something. I already know about you. She's like, I already know. And let me tell you, I don't love you any less. Those are her words. She said to me, I want you to know that I am here for you no matter what. If you want to talk to me, I'm here for you. I still love you. You are my nephew and I love you to death. When she said that, that made me realize, like, okay, not all church-going people are bad, because there are, the ones that you may see in a movie or you may see in real life, the ones that try to condemn the gay community or the gay lifestyle and say, oh, what we're doing is a sin and it's bad and whoop, whoop, whoop. And you have to sit here and think, okay, well, What you talking about? Because you was just sleeping with Deacon Johnson the other day and he's married. So what you mean? So your sin not bad? Mine's is. Mine's is top of the list, right? Okay. When my aunt came and she told me all of that and she was like, she doesn't love me any less, she doesn't look at me any different, that did make me realize, like, okay, not all churchgoers are bad. Again, they are the ones that try to condemn us, like back in the day, like pitchforks and fires, and tried to all of that. But it's just, I feel like even if you're in the church and you're gay, I feel like the churchgoers should embrace you. They should hug you. They should hold you. They should say, "Hey, no, I'm here for you if you need to talk to me." I I'm not here to judge you. I didn't come to church as a gay man. I didn't come to church and judge you. And I feel like if I'm coming to church to hear the word of God, you shouldn't judge me. If anything, you should look at me and say, "Wow, he's here at church as a gay man. Wow, he's here at church and he's trying to listen to the word of the God. Let me embrace him." Another situation where y'all can't tell me they're in the God, and again, it was an instance that I pray. And don't think I sit here and say, "Oh, I'm just praying because something bad happens." I pray when the good is happening. I pray when everything in my life is wonderful. I pray. I thank him for all of that, not just the bad. I thank him for the good too. So, in this situation, I know with my grandmother, I'll say it was maybe about 3 years ago. I was at home and I remember getting up for work and I was getting myself ready. My cousin called me. She was like, "Hey, Ken, you heard about your grandmother?" So when I hear those words, I'm thinking like, what you talking about? If anybody knows me, my grandma, that's my lady. That's what I call her. She's my lady. I would move hell and high water for her. So she's like, "You heard about your grandmother?" I'm like, "No, what's going on?" "Oh, well, she got into a bad accident. A truck hit her and they took her to the hospital." Excuse me? I immediately got in my car. Mind you, I live in Atlanta. So I get in my car and I drive 9.5 hours straight to Fort Lauderdale. And as I'm driving, I'm like, "Lord, please just, wrap your arms around her, give her strength, give her healing, and just please let her come out of this stronger than ever." And I'll never forget, in that same situation, I, as I was driving, I remember calling one of my friends. She's actually one of my best friends. And I don't know why, for some reason, my checks were being mailed to my house. I don't know why. But I just remember that my check had to be mailed that day. And of course, I wasn't going to be there to get it because I was leaving. But I remember calling one of my best friend. I remember calling her, and I'm like, "Hey, Tawana, I need you to do me a huge favor." And at this point, mind you, my head isn't there, so I'm driving. I'm talking to her at the same time. So I'm like, "I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to go to my house, um, get my check and deposit it into my bank account for me while I'm gone, because my grandmother just got into a bad accident and I'm going down there right now." Now, mind you, when she picked up the phone, she sounded normal to me. She sounded really normal. So, she was like, "I won't be able to do that." So I'm like, "Okay, well, that's fine." And then she's like, "You haven't heard?" So I'm like, what you talking about?" She was like, "Nelson died yesterday." Now, Nelson is her husband. So I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, I'm at this point in the middle of the highway and I'm just driving and I'm going and I'm stunned. So I'm like, "What?" Because I had just seen him like the week before. So I'm like, I'm. I was like, "Oh my God, okay." So I said, "I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll call you back." Now again, that's where the prayer kicks in. That's and I feel like it's an automatic for me because, like I said, I do have that relationship with him. Isn't if I call on God and he look down at the call ID and he see my name coming, it's not a name that he hasn't seen in a while. I talk to him. There'll be days I come in, I'll come home, and I literally would sit there and have a conversation with him. That's the relationship that I have with him. And again, I'm not saying that everyone has to have a relationship with him, but that's the relationship I have with him. But to continue on with the story, now as I'm driving, not only am I praying for my grandmother to do better, I'm praying for my friend to get through this. And it was just that day, my God, was a lot. It was really a lot. But I remember, okay, as I'm driving, I'm about 2 hours away from Fort Lauderdale. So at this point, I'm in maybe about West Palm Beach area. So I'm almost there. And as I'm driving, my aunt calls me and she was like, "Oh, don't worry, you don't have to come anymore." Like at this point, she didn't know where I was, but she was like, "You don't have to come anymore. Don't worry, they already released her." And she was in ICU, so that's what made me jump in the car as well. But she was like, "Don't come anymore. They've already released her. She's fine. She's going home right now." And I'm thinking like, Lord, thank you. That's all I could have at that point. Is all I could have said was, Lord, thank you. But then I was on the phone with my aunt. I said, "That's all good. I'm in West Palm Beach. I'm coming. I'm not too far. I still need to see her. That's my grandmother." But again, in the gay community, they feel like just because we're gay, we shouldn't have a relationship with God because we're gay. Like we're still children of we're still his kid. We're his children. He still loves us. He still sees us as equals. And I think that's the big fight that's going on now in this society, is trying to make people realize we are still human beings. We are still equal. If I get shot or someone cuts me and then someone cuts you or you get shot, we are still all going to bleed the same. When we get to the hospital, they still going to do the same procedures. They're going to ask us for our insurance card, A, B, and C. They're going to ask us for the same things. It does not matter. We are still human beings at the end of the day. That's it. And God loves us all the same. Period, point blank. I know for me, I always joke with my friends about, like I said, I don't live every word in the Bible. I don't. I'm going to be really honest. I don't. So I always joke about it, like, if something would have happened to me today, if I were to die, I said, I'm definitely going to heaven. I may not get into the pearly gates when I go, but I know one thing. God he has like a little condo, a little villa on the outside of the gates for my probationary period. I will be on probation, but I will be up in heaven. I just want to thank y'all so much for listening to my rant, because that question I received, it had my wheels spinning in my head, and I'm just like, okay, wow. But I thank you guys so much for listening. I thank you guys so much for watching.